friends, and welcome back to my channel. We're about halfway through October at this point, so I figured it'd be a good time to give you an update on what's going on with my collection, my plants, and let you know everything that I'm dealing with, because I feel like I'm kind of dealing with a lot. But oh my goodness, it has gotten so freaking cold all of a sudden in the UK. It was like 20 degrees Celsius last week on like Tuesday or Wednesday, and now it's like 11. The temperature has halved. I'll put in what those are in Fahrenheit or whatever as well. But it has suddenly just gotten so cold, and the light, I've really been seeing a decrease in light, so I feel like this is kind of the official end of the growing season now. So this is what my plants will look like at the end of the growing season, and we can see if they do anything over the course of the winter months. So yeah, before I get into the updates, I want to say if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanting content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanting journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos, and subscribe to my channel. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy watching my updates as well. But yeah, let's get into it. I guess we can start in the cabinet, because I've not been paying too much attention to this recently. I haven't been opening it up and looking at it very often. I have literally only been opening it to water and to take the plants out to spray them with more sulfur. So I've done the treatment twice, and I know it's been a while since I did the first spray, but I was waiting on a couple of things, and so it just took me a little bit longer. But I think I also read that you don't need to be doing it every week. You can get away with doing it like every 3 or something like that. So I am currently on like a 2 to 3 week cycle with the sulfur spray, and I'm hoping that it works. My plants seem to be doing absolutely fine with the sulfur there. I know it is a natural fertilizer, so if it's getting like in the soil or something, I mean most of these up here are in semi-hydro, but if it's getting in the soil of the plant or up here, it can cause like a bit of boom and growth, which is awesome as well, because a lot of these plants, specifically those Hoyas at the back, the Crinkle 8 and the Variegated Compacta, those have not been growing because of the flat mites. Whereas things like this Hoya australis Lisa is up and down this thing. You can see it's really liking being up by the top. It's a bit empty in the center and then plenty down at the bottom. So I think I don't know what I need to do with this exactly, but I think I might have just decided I wanted to start from here instead, which is fine, but I'll probably have to cut that off at some point. Down at the bottom, my Pallidiflorum Terrarium has just put out this leaf. It is still hardening off. You can see it's fairly similar in size to the previous one there, and much bigger than the ones that I got it with, which were quite small. So I think it is liking this sort of situation. My Warwickwianum also has put out a new leaf. Look at that. It looks so nice not having spots on it, because it's come out for the most part since I last sprayed, so it is growing quite quickly. It's obviously not finished growing yet. I should, once it is hardened off, have a check on it for flat mites though as well, because this was one of the plants that I knew had it for sure, and like this damage up here on the Warwickwianum was from flat mites, which really freaking sucked. So I'm hoping that this is all working and this leaf won't have them on it. Down here, my Anthurium Silver Blush, I believe this is, just in a cup of pond with no drainage, has put out a tiny little leaf. I love when they come out all red. I think they are freaking adorable like this. And it kind of makes me sad that the Warwickwianum doesn't come out in the same red color, but it's okay. They are just still really freaking cute when they're this tiny. Like, look how big it is. And I mean, it'll probably end up being not huge, but decently sized compared to what it is now. So hopefully that grows well. I realize I've just given you a bunch of Anthurium updates. There are other things in here, but ooh, I don't know. I guess my Magnificum back there, this one, is doing really well. You can see there's a new leaf there, and it's growing from where it was chopped. And my Synapsis, I think this is the mint. It's kind of hard to tell because it's got spots on it of sulfur, but it's also got variegation in there. It's also putting out a new leaf. So yeah, things are growing pretty well in here considering. Hello, baby. Hi. Cleo update. Cleo's good. Yeah, you're good, aren't you? Look at those beautiful eyes. Yeah. Right, carrying on. I had a couple of questions about my little terrarium that I made, and you can definitely see that it is filling out. It's a little bit foggy right now, just with condensation, but the Selaginella there is doing really well, and the blue peacock stuff on that side is doing great. I kind of lost most of the red, I believe. There's still a little bit in there, but not tons. You can see like the roots proper going down in there, which is fun. I also haven't seen any sort of springtails recently. I guess I could try and feed them again. But like you can see there is bits of mold in there, which they would love to be feeding off of. So I'm not too sure. I might have to buy some more and do better at making sure that they stay fed. Maybe it was just a bit too clean of an environment right off the bat for them. But otherwise, it is growing really well. And I'm really, really happy with how fast this frost Selaginella is growing. It's crazy. I think my little Euphorbia ghost, oh, maybe it's not rooting, I don't know. Let's look. Might have a root on there. Maybe. I'm really bad because I try not to pull it out too often, but then how am I supposed to know when it roots? I really don't know. Just gonna take my time and keep making sure that it's nice and moist. This is one that I try and keep as moist as possible because otherwise it will not root, but I think it might just take quite a while in the end. The Glorious is glorious as ever. You could see in there that there are some new leaves coming in. This was from the old top cutting. This was the bottom cutting with some new growth coming in. And this is the new top cutting. This one's taking a little bit longer. The pole is a little bit dry at the minute. I have put water in it, or in the cup, to drip down, but it is going to take a second. The newest leaf on it, which kind of came out while I was adjusting it to its post-pole surgery life, is still nice and big. I think it got a little bit of damage, potentially from the light, because it was closer before. It was in where the dubia is, and so it was a little bit closer, so it might have touched that, which is probably not great, but I don't mind having a tiny bit of damage. I mean, you could tell this one has it too, so I'm not the best at making sure things don't touch the lights. And then I did the tiniest bit of rearranging in this corner. I chopped my Monstera albo down a little bit because it was well over the top of the pole before. So I chopped it, and I've got some cuttings propagating in water, which I can always put back in at the bottom. But because it wasn't as tall, I then needed something taller for the corner, so I put the Cebu Blue in there, which I also have taken a couple cuttings of as well because that was off the pole. But yeah, just, it's still chaotic as ever, but it feels like it fits again better. This is a new leaf on my, Melaloni, Fat Boy Not Fat Boy. Like huge, as you can see, it barely fits in the frame, which is awesome. So yeah, things are doing well down here, and I have a bunch of little props as well that I need to like proper pot up. I've kind of been ignoring them, which I know is bad, but I will sort these out at some point. In the bedroom, things are doing okay. I'm still super pleased with how well my Doryaki's doing, considering it is immensely dusty. I should probably clean it, but it is just growing so well, and it's also only in sphagnum moss, so that is pretty good. I am feeling a little bit done with this plant though, so I might give it to a friend. I feel like I don't need it. I feel like I'm kind of, I'm not over Terrariums at the minute, but I feel like I have ones that I really, really love, and I'm going to keep those, but I don't need to have them all, which I think I used to feel quite intensely. I don't know, I think I'm getting better at learning which ones I need and which ones I don't. Or maybe not, because I'm getting them all and then figuring it out after. Who knows? Either way, I don't think this one in the end is for me, but it is growing very, very well. This is the newest leaf on it, and as you can see, it's like the same size as all of the others. And happy as a clam. All of my hanging plants are getting a little bit long at this point, and I probably should have chopped them earlier in the season, like not right before we're going into winter, but I might give them a good chop and repot those propagations back into the top, especially for the Cebu Blue there, because you can see it is super duper sparse. It's got one long tendril, whereas I would love it to have a few more similar to these two there, or even the Enjoy, which just kind of tangles itself up. It doesn't really go down as much, it just kind of keeps tangling itself into a little bush, which I kind of love, but yeah. Need to chop these at some point, and I will probably do that quite soon, but for now, they are absolutely good up here. I feel like all of these plants, if you ever need a plant that's fine, just like without you paying any attention to it at all, any of these. So Syndapsuses, some like Philodendron Hateraceums, Epipremnums, like they are the easiest, and I love them so much. I'm not sure if my little Hoya Clemensiorum leaves are going to get any bigger. They like obviously didn't get to the size of these main ones, but I don't know if they are going to keep growing at all, because I haven't really noticed them growing as much as they were for a while there. I don't know if it's just that it's like once they get bigger they take longer or what, but I mean, it's fine. As long as it grew something, it means they're alive and they're happy, and that's what matters the most. I'm just glad that they've come out at all. And those little splashes of silver in there are so cute. It is seriously time again for me to chop and prop my String of Hearts Silver Glory. This thing is constantly growing like crazy. And so I need to chop it like there again in half, and then I can prop those and put them back in. I cannot believe that I grew this from like maybe a handful of tiny strands, like 7 at max, and now it's like proper getting bushy. So I guess it does exponentially grow because you're literally doubling it each time. So that is very, very good. I seriously need to sort this whole section out, because I know that there are thrips in here, unfortunately, which freaking sucks, and I've done nothing about it other than like putting some predatory mites in here. I've not treated these for thrips in any other way, so I definitely think I need to do something about these plants. And I was thinking maybe this would be a good place for the Soltech grow light. I can hook it up in the top of that. Probably change out these plants completely because they've gotten a little bit too big anyways, at least these alocasias have. But if I put that Soltech light in there, I can then have, again, smaller things down here that aren't going to kind of get in the way as much as these alocasias are. I think that would do really, really well for it, especially since this does get quite dusty. And again, I am really, really, really bad at dusting anything, so I should probably just dust it, but I'll clean it when I give it a refurb. Maybe I can make a video refurbing the whole thing, little makeover, and we can get it all sorted. How's that sound? If you want that, put this emoji, whatever it is that I'm pointing to right here, down below in the comments if you would like that. If you'd like to see that, I can make a video of that, and that could be quite fun for us all. I am quite frustrated with this corner here, because I know that plant, my fern leaf cactus, which I freaking love, I know it has thrips, hence the sachet, and I know, if you see my like video 1 or 2 ago, that my Hoya Polyneura has flat mites, which it's been sprayed, that's why you can see the sulfur spots on it. So both of those plants have pests, so that probably means that all of the plants behind them have pests. Oh my goodness, it is so cold in here. You can see how cold it has been recently in the UK. Like suddenly the temperature just dropped, and that means it's what, 16 degrees in here, which It's crazy. This like sort of area is the coldest part of my whole flat. This and directly behind me where my desk is. It's the coldest part because it's not got much insulation in the roof up there, and so I totally get why it is, but it just means that taking care of the plants in here is that just that little bit harder. You can see my implicimum back there. Aside from the bit that looks like it has a bit of sunburn damage, those leaves are getting so big. I'm not gonna pull it out because it is a freaking pain to get in and out, but it is doing so well back there. I'm honestly contemplating getting rid of my Lepismium bolivianum, even though I know I love it so freaking much. I think it is the source of the bad thrips in my home. Like, you're not gonna be able to see them, but every single time I check it, there's more, and I'm finding it really tough to treat, so I feel like this one might just be a lost cause, and I might have to take the mistletoe cactus next to it with it, because I know this also has thrips. I've seen them on here. They are like basically touching, so I get why they would both have them, but I think I might just need to cut my losses, and that would save a whole lot of pain and annoyance if I just kind of get rid of them. And by get rid of them, I literally mean throw them in the trash, because I wouldn't want to give them to anybody with such intense pests on them. It's like, ugh, yeah. It's a shame because I know my Lepismium was doing quite well. Like, it's got some good growth on it. But I can't with it anymore. So, like, I'll either have to treat it with Pronto, which I don't want to do either, or throw it out. So those are kind of my options for these plants at the minute, which is pretty sucky, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do. What do you think I should do? Should I throw it out or should I try and treat it? Should I persevere? Let me know down below in the comments. My little Hoya Rosita is flowering again. Like, they finally popped out, and you can see there's like lots of sort of nectar on them. And this stuff tastes delicious as well. Stephania erecta over here has gone from just having that one leaf for ages to having loads all of a sudden. And I feel like I probably need to prop it up, but I'm just gonna let it keep holding itself down for now. But it is still growing. You can see those tiny little leaves in there. Those tiny little ones. They're so freaking cute when they're little. But yeah, it's growing really well, surprisingly. Also, because my Hoya polyneura has flat mites, that means these propagations probably do it, which means this whole area probably has them as well. So my whole flat probably has freaking flat mites, which is really freaking annoying. If you couldn't tell, I'm kind of not okay with it. This mistletoe cactus is doing phenomenally though. I have just rotated it round because you can see the side that was closest to the window before, all of this growth was doing so well. I guess it was closest to the window and closer to the mother grow light there. So yeah, I've rotated it now in hopes that I can get this side to grow down a little bit longer as well to match this one. Obviously, it's not necessarily the greatest time of year for that, but it should be all right, I think. It's just growing so well. I'm very proud of this one. This is what I wanted my other one to be, and it just wasn't. I want to thank everyone who helped me identify the issue that I was having with my Monstera Standaleyana. The answer was thrips. Yay! I have since found some thrips on here. I do immediately squish them, but I've only seen the adults. I have not seen any baby thrips at all on this one. And I have been checking. I've gone through and checked the bottom leaves as well, but it is pretty much just the top ones that are affected. So I probably need to properly treat this one, and probably properly treat this one as well. This is what I'm saying. If I'm treating everything for thrips or flat mites, I may as well just use the sulfur on everything. But then my entire collection is going to look really ugly for a while, and I really don't want that. I just don't really know which would be a better option for me in terms of having my collection be, like, photogenic for one. So that's why I don't want to just do everything with the sulfur, because then for 8 weeks I'm struggling with my collection looking like meh. I'm not going to want to take any pictures for Instagram. I'm not gonna want to film with things, like I don't like looking at it. So like that's an aesthetic thing, but I feel like it's the best option in terms of deals with flat mites and thrips. As far as I know, I should probably do some more research into it, but the bottle says it deals with thrips, so let's hope that works. Or sticking to the natural and probably having a more difficult time with everything. It's gonna probably take longer to deal with, and I have more risk of things getting worse because though the natural method is effective, it takes longer and you need to be more repetitious with it, and I feel like it's easier for things to get out of hand because you're not using things like chemicals, which kind of instantly kill better than natural methods. Or I can go the Provanto route, and I don't think that does flat mites, so I'd still probably have to do the sulfur anyways, but I could Provanto the whole collection. But that also takes a few weeks, and no matter what, treating an entire collection of plants is going to be a whole heck of a lot of work. So I'm kind of just procrastinating on it because I just don't I don't want to do any of these things. I would just like for the thrips to disappear, because that would be way better for me. But that's not going to happen, unfortunately. So we will see what I end up doing. Any and all advice is appreciated. I've had so many of you like reach out and tell me what you think I should do, and I really do appreciate that in this sense, because I'm like seriously asking what you would do in this situation. If you had 200 plants and they have pests on them, what would you do? Oh, I don't know. So yeah, right. Let's carry on. And then we have the office, which as per usual, I have been quite bad at taking care of. I have just watered these plants this morning because I noticed they really needed them. Like this, I can never say it. The venosum has gone entirely wrinkly. I think I've like properly killed it. It was doing so well for a while, and like you can see how many leaves it had. But I've just gone and dehydrated it too far, unfortunately. I have been not great at making sure these things stay hydrated. A lot of them do seem to be quite tolerant. That one is just not a very tolerant plant on its own. But the things like the philodendrons in here, the Hoyas in here, those tend to be quite tolerant. And the ones that are less tolerant, like the Cissus discolor and the Discoria discolor, those are in semi-hydro, which takes longer to dry out anyways. So it is okay for the most part. Some of the like Marantas and stuff at the back, where are they? There they are a bit curly, which is fine, it happens, but yeah, oh my goodness. Let's look at this. Oh my goodness. Okay, so my Discoria discolor, one, it has gotten a little bit meh there, but that's okay. It decided it wanted to climb up this plant, and now it's climbing up the pole. How freaking cute is that tiny little leaf sprout doing its little thing? So cute. Oh, don't need to do that. You can stay there. You can keep climbing up that. I tried to get it to climb up the pole before, but I think it just didn't want to do that. So it's just gonna do whatever it wants instead. I am still treating the plants in this area for spider mites and thrips. Again, this isn't an area that I remember to check on all that much. I've normally got laundry here, so the light's really bright. A bit hard to see. This is one of the Pianta grow lights, which I have on almost all the time. I do have a discount code with them if you're interested in trying that. They are great energy efficient grow lights. This isn't sponsored by them, but they are great energy efficient grow lights, and they are on the cheaper side, which I do like as a bonus. But yeah, just gives these plants quite a lot of light, which is good because otherwise you can see this corner is freaking dark. Nothing really to report in the cactus and succulent cabinet. Things are absolutely fine, really. I am interested to see if things start growing a little bit more, because I have recently learned that a lot of cacti and succulents will start growing more in the autumn and winter seasons because they're not like trying to hold on to water as intensely. So now that it's a little bit cooler and Probably not that much darker, seeing as I've got a freaking bright grow light on them. But now that it is cooler, I wonder if they will start popping off with growth a little bit more, or not. But I guess we can see that more together. This little zone is also still being treated for thrips. I haven't seen tons recently, so I think it is getting better. And since I like quite heavily packed this zone, I thought I had, with predatory mites, and I cleaned it properly recently, they should be doing okay. I haven't had that much growth in this zone lately though, like my El Choco Red, which is here, has kind of stopped its quite quick growth that it used to have. So maybe that's a me problem, maybe I'm not keeping it as watered as I need to, or its moss pole is moist, but I have watered it. I watered it this morning. I promise it's got water in there, even though the indicator doesn't say it does. Yeah, maybe I just need to water it more. Maybe it's the pests. Either way, I would like it to start growing again. So hopefully, once the pests are gone and I am a bit more on top of watering, we can get it to grow again. And then lastly over here, now that we're done with the spider mite situation, these plants are growing so well. My Mitralitiana just popped out that leaf back there. And all of these are looking so healthy. And then my banana plant also putting out a new leaf. And like down here even, the bottom plant of it is quite big. So it is just doing so well. I think it is happier now that I have put it in new soil. Oh, like a few months back, probably in springtime. So it's not new, the new soil, but I think it is liking it better. It's a little bit more moisture retaining, which I didn't realize that these needed, but they do. They like to retain a little bit of moisture, but very happy here. So yeah, that is pretty much what is going on in the collection right now. I mean, even though there's lots of past stuff going on, I feel like I'm trying to focus more on the positive bits of things and the new growth, because I am getting some new growth still. So I'm trying to focus on that more than the pest situation, even though I really don't know what to do, so like all help is appreciated there. But I've kind of accepted it at this point because I've been dealing it for such a long time and it has been so bad. I've kind of just like gotten used to it almost, which is probably not a good thing, but here we are. I'll figure it out. All help and advice is appreciated in this department. But yeah, before I sign off, I want to say thank you to the newest members of my Good Growing fam over on Patreon. So thank you so much to Ellie, Chloe, and April for joining in. I really hope you enjoy it over there. I feel like there's a lot of fun things at the minute to go participate in and watch and stuff. So yeah, if anybody else is interested in joining, it is about £3 or $4-ish or euros per month, which really helps me out. It helps me run each one of these grow lights. Each month costs about £3, so you can consider it running one of my grow lights for a month, or buying me a cup of coffee, or just giving that tiny little bit of extra that can really help a girl out, because it is so very appreciated. Obviously there is no pressure. It doesn't affect my content on here other than the occasional, by occasional I mean monthly, vote on what video y'all want to see. But yeah, if anyone wants to join, you're more than welcome to. I am not going to say no. And you get to know me a bit better, which is fun. So yeah, thank you Ellie, Chloe, and April for joining in. I really appreciate it. And thank you all so much for watching this video. I do really appreciate that as well. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about. If I touched on anything in this video that you want more on, let me know. If you want to see me do the mini greenhouse refurb, remodel, put this emoji in the comments and I can make that happen. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Keep growing. Bye!